Welcome to highlights of the Rabat Diamond League. It's the first time the series has come to Morocco, and to mark it, they've made sure it's a world-class field.
Carmelita Jeddah looking magnificent.
Amos finds that little bit extra. Amos stretches and gets it to the line.
But it's Oliver powering his way down over the barriers. Oliver comes through to take it.
Here comes Lindsay Sharp of Scotland. Silver for Scotland.
She is a really good competitor. 14.80, brilliant performance.
Alma Zayana has been relentless, ruthless here.
Sun is going to come away for the goal line.
Oh yes, well done, sir.
Look at LaShawn Merritt going. It's all about LaShawn Merritt. What a performance.
Rabat is the capital of Morocco and is the first city in Africa to host a Diamond League meeting. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the city is known for both its historical and modern architecture. Your commentators today at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium are Stuart Story and Tim Hutchings.
We start straight away with action on the track, the women's 400-metre hurdles, and Stuart Story.
Well, there's the lineup for you. Ankovic of Poland, Tate of the United States, Russell Jamaica, Teronel South Africa, Adakoya Bahrain, Tidemets of the Ukraine, and Lambarki of Morocco in lane 8. Well, not much in it as they go towards the first of the barriers. Russell being left behind, incidentally, by Teronel. She's gone off pretty quickly in the back straight. And the rest pretty even as we go down towards approaching 200 metres. Teronel, now Russell recovering and is right on the shoulder now of Teronel as they go through 200 metres. Now what's going to happen in this 2 to 300 metres right on the outside? Tidemets going quite well too. So into this final bend now, and Russell looking very, very strong indeed. And she's taken over the lead. She had a very steady first 150. Russell is there, Teronel in second place, and right on the inside is Cassandra Tate. Russell stutters to that, but gets away from it. So Russell's going to take this one. Geneva Russell of Jamaica wins it. And in second place is Cassandra Tate. And in third place, Teronel, and the time 54.18. So that's pretty quick on the day. 54.18 is the second fastest in the world this year, just ahead of what Eilidh Doyle did in Doha. So the event now beginning to wind up. A very good run, not the great first 200 metres, much more evenly paced 400 from Geneva Russell of Jamaica.
Well, it certainly was a beautifully judged race, wasn't it, from Russell? Went off pretty hard and then settled round the second bend and then kicked hard off the bend and eased away from Teronel to come home 3 or 4 metres to the good, and that time pretty good in breezy conditions. Not sure if I mentioned that earlier. There's a strong wind coming off the Atlantic, and should be behind the athletes down the home straight for the most part, but in their faces obviously up the back straight. But Geneva Russell there, 22 years old, showing enormous strength and good judgment too in that very, very tough event.
Well, there is the result. Geneva Russell, personal best, 54.16. The season's best for Cassandra Tate, and Venda Teronel at 54.88 in third. Good race.
Coming up today, Britain's Lindsay Sharp and Shalana Oscan-Clark are in action in the 800 metres. In the 110-metre hurdles, 2013 world champion David Oliver will be looking for a first Diamond League win this season. There's a top field in the men's 800 metres featuring Olympic silver medalist Nigel Amos. World champion Alma Zayana goes in the women's 5,000 metres. The men's 400 metres sees British champion Ravi Youssef facing 2013 world champion LaShawn Merritt.
The women's 100 metres, they've been waiting very patiently. They're stripped down and ready, these 8 athletes. You can see Kambunji, one of the darlings of the 2014 World Championships in Zurich, goes up against Stuart Jeddah, second fastest woman in history. There is Mujinga Kambunji. Had a fabulous time at those European Championships 2 years ago, but struggling to make a mark amongst the best in the world. Karen Stewart, well, at 32, the Jamaican's been there and done it. World Championship silver medalist at 100 back in 2009, an Olympic medalist at that distance, this distance, in 2008. Carmelita Jeddah, well, at the age of 36, she's the second fastest in history, but struggling to find her form. couple of outings already this year, but not really hitting the straps. Elaine Thompson, World Championship silver medalist last year at 200. Look for the Jamaican to come through late in this one. Then in lane 5, Blessing Okubade, Olympic long jump medalist in 2008, but the big Nigerian very, very quick over the sprints too. 10:79, her personal best in 2013. Well, 5 women in the world have gone under 11 seconds so far this year. It is early days. No one in this field has done it yet in 2016, and I rather fancy that the meeting record of 11:14 might have a degree of vulnerability to it. That was by Chandra Stirrup of the Bahamas back in 2010. But the world best of 10:80 for this year by Tori Bui in Doha 16 days ago is probably safe. Kambunji in 2, Karen Stewart in 3, Jetta goes in 4, Elaine Thompson in 5, the fastest in the field this year, Okubade 6, Anderson 7, Okparaibo 8, Horn in lane 9. Away they go. Quickest away at the moment is Thompson beside Jetta, and leading at the moment from Stewart on the far side, coming through for a second place, and a good second place finish very strongly. Okubade. So it was Thompson, Okubade and Stewart 1, 2, 3, 11:04, and the wind minus 1.3 the indicator is showing. Well, if that's the case, then it's swirling like crazy.
Another little look at the start with Karen Stewart just fading a little bit. Stewart, of course, has been at the top of the tree in the past, but Thompson, well, world champion, silver medalist last year at 200 metres. She's got terrific speed endurance, and that looked easy, didn't it? Looked very comfortable in the end. There was no pressure in that phase. Her body language showed that she was well within herself there. Look at that. How easy is that? That looks really good at 11:02, and Okubari 11:11 and Stewart 11:19.
Well, despite the headwind, the first 3 there, certainly Okubade and Stewart setting the season's best. Thompson as well, with that new meeting record of 11:02. Very impressive indeed. I bet she'll be chomping at the bit after this to race in better conditions.
This is how the Diamond League points system works. There are 14 meetings in all, with 16 different track and field events for men and women across the season. Every event, be it sprint hurdles or shot put, has its own competition with 7 rounds. The winner of each round gets 10 points, second place gets 6 points, third 4 points, down to 1 point for sixth. Double points are up for grabs in the season finales in Zurich and Brussels. Come September, each overall Diamond League race winner will take home $40,000 and a sparkling diamond trophy.
Well, a triple jump. Rojas in 4th place overall in this competition. The world indoor champion, not in the sort of form we saw last week. Tall and rangy, but couldn't quite get the sort of power behind the jumps. There it is, 14:11. That was in fact her best jump, way down. But Mamona, this is Patricia Mamona, European Championship silver medalist in 2012. She was in 3rd place, and that distance of 14 metres and 13, just 2 centimetres ahead of the world indoor champion. Good enough to hold on to 3rd place. The World Championship indoor finalist as well. Papachristou, well, it was her season's best that took her to 2nd place. World Indoor Championship bronze medalist in Portland earlier on this season. She was 5th in Doha in the triple jump, so she's done a little bit better here. Good range, and that was not bad at all. She really is, but the end result was 14 metres and 28. That was in the very first round of the competition. Couldn't improve on that, although she did equal that in the 4th round. Well, Catherine Ibarguen, who's going to beat this woman? Twice world champion, Olympic Games silver medalist. That's the only one she lost, really. Won in Doha, under pressure from Rojas of Venezuela, but came up with a 15-metre and 4 jump. Absolutely sensational stuff. But on this occasion, 14 metres and 51. Good enough to take it and get her another 10 points. And so Catherine Ibarguen of Colombia, tall, elegant, powerful, remains unbeaten in Doha in 32 finals. And so this is unbeaten in 33. that is some record. I wouldn't think it's too often achieved. There it is, 14.51, the final round, just against a slight headwind of 0.4 meters per second. Well, the next event on the track, the men's 800 meters, and what a lineup it is. It should be a competitive race. Olgues, Hiran, Malnoui, Bosch, Lewandowski, McLoofy, Tuka, Amos. What a field indeed. There's Amos, and of course Nigel, the Diamond League winner last year. He's only 22. Remember that silver medal in the Olympic Games in 2012. Well, the pacemaker on the outside is Meli of Kenya. He's 22. He's got the job of getting him underway. And as usual, Boss will try and get himself into some considerable position. They go into the back straight right on the inside. El Gesser, the tall figure, has gone into second place. Up there also is Hiran of Qatar. And as they go through 200, the pacemaking is going very, very quickly, and too quickly by my count. It's way ahead of the rest of this field, unless this is... yeah, he's gone way too far ahead of the rest. El Ghessi's there. El Malnoui is there. Amos is there. Boss just sitting in. Tuka at the back, where he often is. And, of course, Maloofi also at the back. Well, actually, he went through in what he was asked to go through in, so the pacemaking not bad. The rest didn't follow.
Well, that's right. You can't blame the pacemaker. On the other hand, Stuart, they have to think on their feet and maybe ease back when they can see the field a long way back. I was amazed at how slowly McLoofy went out through the first 200 metres, but he's made his way up to the pack and probably running the most even splits right in the middle of that pack at the moment. He's got them in his sights, the 3 or 4 in front of him.
Well, Manuri is leading the real race itself, and of course all of a sudden the break is on, and Boss has really gone for this. He really is hammering it down round this bend. He's played it really well, and he's leading. Amos in second place, McLoofy in third, Tuka in fourth, and in fifth place Lewandowski. But I tell you what, Boss has taken this one. They're not going to catch him. And Boss, who came off that bend so very quickly, McLoofy in second, Tuka in third, Lewandowski in third, Amos absolutely nowhere. The time 1:44.53. Well, Nigel Amos of Botswana found himself in some considerable difficulty in that. He was absolutely nowhere in the final stages. But what about the effort by Boss of France? He really went for that. 1:44.51, a season's best for him, and he ran that tactically brilliantly. It really was a good race in the end.
Well, Boss ran a very, very mature race. You know, he races a lot and he races pretty consistently. But the way that he eased up to the shoulder of the leader there, of Manawi, with 200 to go, changed gear there going into the bend. Amos just didn't have that same gear to go to. And Boss around the crown of the bend. He is a big fellow, we mustn't forget that. He's about 6'2", 6'3". Kicked on the crown of the bend into the straight, extended that lead. McLoofy misjudged it somewhat. He did finish very strongly with that 1,500-metre run of strength, but he was just too far back at the bell, I think, to ever get on terms with Boss. Never gave himself a chance.
There's the result. Thierry Boss, 1:44.51, season's best. McLoofy in second, Tuka in third, Lewandowski in fourth. Pretty tight for the places, but good run by Boss.
The next event on the track is the men's steeplechase. They call it the man killer of an event. It's very, very tough indeed, dominated by the Kenyans. This is a big field. It is significant because it sees the return of Makisi Rabat, who would have been European champion but for his over-exuberant celebrations in 2014 in Zurich, and he was disqualified for taking his vest off. Big, big fella, the 31-year-old. Spent all of last year out with an Achilles injury. How well has he recovered from that and come back? I was talking to one of the French meet directors today, and he said Makisi doesn't come out and race unless he's ready to race. And to be fair, he is very consistent, so let's see how he goes here. Towards the back of the field at the moment, about fourth from back. As they come round that bend and into the home straight. We're looking for something around 8-minute tempo. Nganga it is who leads. It was the pacemaker in Doha 2 weeks ago as they go through, and it is quick, single file at the moment.
Certainly the two principals, Consensus Kipruto and Janis Birec, well, it's pretty well going to the script as far as they're concerned. Certainly Kipruto had, when he won in Doha, that 8:05, it really was a quick race. It could have been much quicker. It was on schedule for 8 minutes for some considerable time, and he seems to be emerging as the man to beat at the moment. Birec has proved himself in the Diamond League, but when it comes to the championship, he's not really been the business, and I just wonder whether this season things will change. But certainly consensus, Kipruto is the man of the moment. Let's see if he can hang on to this.
Well, the first kilometre, wait for it, was 2:36.3, world record tempo. They're really attacking this, and that's why the gap has grown now to swelled to about 35 metres to the chasing pack. Venceslas Kipruto still tucked in there behind Kipsang, the pacemaker. Kipruto here could go below 8 minutes. Birec hanging onto his coattails at the moment, the man who finished 4th so frustratingly in the World Championships last year with 3 laps to run. Birec was the Diamond League champion, had a series of wins and good second places on the circuit, but couldn't produce the goods behind 3 compatriots. He finished 4th in Beijing. Now Kipruto there, left of picture, just beginning to wind it up with a lap and a half to go. Paul Kipciele-Coech is back in 3rd place, the 3rd fastest man in history with that personal best of 7:54 from Rome in 2012, but he's what, 40 metres down now, and he's going over the water jump now as they come into the straight. But Birec has a quick finish. I would say that Kipruto has got to do something pretty special over this next 200 or 300 metres if he wants to shake off Birec.
Yeah, Birec didn't quite get this close last time out, and he's latched onto him now, and you're quite right, just that little drop off of pace has allowed Birec to stay there, but Kipruto did finish very strongly in the final stage of his last race, and just as I say that, the pedal goes down into the back straight as he approaches that hurdle.
300 to run, and looking very strong now down the back straight is Kipruto. He's shown an impressive turn of speed here. This is perhaps a new quality, taking Birec on at his own skill. That is a vicious kick over the last 300 metres. Birec has specialised in defeating one field after another over the last couple of seasons, but Venceslas Kipruto has opened those 15 metres up in the space of about 150. Waving to the crowd now as he comes off the bend into the straight. That's kind of unnecessary, I think, when you've got a great rival behind you, 50 metres behind you, and he could have been going for 8 minutes here. He's going to miss it by 2 or 3 seconds, I think, as he lumbers home now. Having done the damage with that acceleration down the back straight, he's eased right back in the throttle, jogs across the line, 10 metres to the good, that's all from Birec. 8:02.8. It is indeed a new meeting record. It's the fastest time in the world this year, improving his own time from Doha by just over 2 seconds.
Well, he was clearly on for a sub 8 minutes, quite simply, and he's just jogging round the bend into the home straight. He really is a former world junior champion, and my goodness me, he's now becoming of age.
Confirmation of that win for Venceslas Kipruto, 8:02.77, the fastest time in the world this year. Birec, a good second, a season's best 8:03.90. Coech, a distant third there with 8:12.33. Spent a lot of the race on his own. Pole vault next, and Yaroslay Silva at 4 metres 50. Her opening height, well, we've already seen that this height troubled Buchla of Switzerland. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, she's a very compact, powerful vaulter. Reigning world champion, of course, from Beijing last year, the little Cuban. Silver medalist at the games in London.
Baniotis, 2:25 in this high jump competition. Baniotis, twice World Indoor Championship finalist, incidentally. Really attacked that bar. That was a very aggressive piece of running. And the sprints showed there was a slightly minus headwind, but certainly it's been up to 2.5 plus, so that's interesting, isn't it? It is fluctuating, that's for sure. So the high jumpers may have a slight backwind from time to time.
Robbie Grabat's next to go then. Now Grabat's, of course, an Olympic medalist back in 2012. Jumping with newfound confidence this year, it has to be said. His personal best 2:37. That's nice from Rabat. Yes, much better. He did jump 2:29 in Doha a couple of weeks back. Let's go back to this women's pole vault, and a first attempt at 4:65 for Caterina Stefanidi, based in the States. Stefanidi is a 4:73 jumper. Oh, that's nice. Lots of power, lots of speed there from the Greek. And the European Championship silver medalist producing a meeting record there. And making it look relatively easy, I have to say, past the previous height, 460. So 3 vaults so far at 440, 455 and 465. Well, back to this men's high jump now. Eric Kinnaird looking to maintain his perfect card to date. Probably a little fed up with minor medals. The Olympic silver medalist, the world indoor. Oh, that's nice. The world indoor bronze medalist from a few weeks back. And a brilliant clearance there. No trouble at all for Eric Kinnaird. Becomes the first man clear, and at first attempt that means the men behind him who have had 1 or 2 failures at this height have got to clear the next height. 2:31 it will be, then 2:34, but again doing just enough there. Eric Kinnaird, nicely judged.
The next event on the track, the men's high hurdles. And what a lineup. Oliveira of Brazil, Duvalidis of Greece, Richardson, USA, Cabral of Canada, Ortega of Spain, Oliver, USA, Contreras of Spain, Alcana of South Africa. And of course David Oliver, world champion in 2013, Olympic bronze medalist in 2008. He's a real powerhouse. A good start. Oliver going well. Look at Ortega going away, and also Duvalidis on the inside. He's going very strongly as well. And here comes Oliver and Ortega, and Oliver's going to get it. Ortega in second place, and I think that was Duvalidis in third. And the time, just looking at the clock, 13.13, a new meeting record, of course. But Ortega, absolutely superb, and so was David Oliver. Just for once, it was great to see him really competing, David, because getting that at 13.12, it's been rounded up, and Ortega 13.13. There was 1/100th of a second between them, and I thought it was Duvalidis in third place. We'll get confirmation of that in a moment, but David Oliver gets a win, and he desperately needs that on the season. Let's have a look at the start.
I'm a little surprised, Stuart. David Oliver third to left there. Good start from him. Ortega got the better start though, fourth from left, leading at this stage. Oliver battling to get back on terms with him. Alcana on the near side from South Africa having a fabulous run too, holding them almost stride for stride. Only now does, about 3/4 of the way through, does Oliver get the lead. Now that win for me is pretty comfortable from David Oliver. I'm amazed that they put it down to 1/100th of a second, because you called it right. It was easy to call, relatively speaking, that particular result. 1/100th though between Oliver and Ortega. 13.12, 13.13. I thought maybe Alcana was third.
Yeah, he was. He did come through on the near side. He was ahead, clearly ahead of Duvalidis. Well, there it is, David Oliver, 13.12, meeting record. Orlando Ortega, 13.13. Antonio Alcana, 13.28, just ahead of Duvalidis. Well, Bondarenko, a very, very important jump for him, a third and final at 2.28. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Well, that was close call, although the jump itself wasn't. The jump was a very, very good jump. But Bondarenko equals his season's best on 2.28. But here's a man who's achieved 2.42 in his career. 2.28, the season's best. At least that give him a bit of a breathing space. He's very tall. Not as fast into the bar as some of the high jumpers we see, but that's a good clearance. So nothing iffy about that one. That was very, very good clearance indeed. Well, in the vault now, Nicole Buchler of Switzerland has really started the season well. This is her attempt, her second attempt at 4 meters and 70 centimeters. Had one failure at this height, desperately needs it, and that's a terrific vault. Fabulous piece of vaulting. Well, She's back in business here against Stefanidi. Lovely approach and lovely clearance. Stefanidi then at 4 meters and 75. That will equal the meeting record if she can achieve it. And it would be on her first attempt, of course. Oh yes! So Stefanidi goes into the lead in this pole vault competition. It's quite a competitive one between herself and Nicole Buchler. Silver in third place at a 450, way below par, but Stefanidi is really going well, and it's good to see. To Bondarenko. Oh yes! Bondarenko goes clear, and that really is a very, very good performance indeed. That's a 2:31. Second attempt, not bad, is getting there at last. Tall, rangy, attacking, great lift off the ground, superb impact, terrific impact, and the end result is a very fine clearance indeed.
Next up is home favourite Abdelati Iguida. He's the reigning world and Olympic 1500-metre bronze medalist, and he'll be looking to hedge the podium once again in Rio in August. But can he give the crowd in the Moroccan capital something to cheer about?
Well, the next event of the track, the men's 3,000 metres, 7.5 laps of the track. 14 starters in this one, including the 2 pacemakers. The world best is sure to be broken. It's only 7:45 for this year, but it is a strong field. Iguida, of course, will bring the crowd to their feet, I'm sure, should he win this one. The Olympic bronze medalist at 1,500 metres. Surely all eyes here on Iguida. Third to left as they wait patiently. He was only 4th in the World Indoor 3000 in Portland. Relatively poor for him. He's normally makes it onto the rostrum, certainly in indoor races. So away they go, and the early pace looking pretty healthy. 60 seconds per lap. Well, that's as near as can be. 4-minute mile tempo. They're going to maintain for nearly two miles if they stick to the schedule. Kombic it is who leads out, the 31-year-old. Well, he's a 1:44 800-metre runner, Kombic. Should be very comfortable at this tempo. Just under 2 laps to run as they go through. Still with Ibrahimov leading at the moment, but it's anybody's race. There's 9 men in that lead pack down the back straight. 650 to run. Iguida looking very smooth indeed. It's easy to forget that he's a 3:28 1,500-metre runner. Mikhail on the outside glancing around. A lot of cat and mouse going on out there now, although if you're not well positioned at this stage, 600 metres to run, as the acceleration goes in, you won't have a chance, because you've got to be very, very close to the front end in a tactical race like this, whether it's 1,500, 3,000, 5,000 or whatever. If you're not there, watching, covering every little move, and it's become a tactical race with a fast last lap and a half, then you're giving too much ground to those ahead of you. As they come down towards the bell, Iguida now, they're bringing an enormous roar to the stadium as he leads from Ibrahimov. And at the bell, it's Iguida who hits the front for the first time effectively. Mikhail in second place just cuts in on Ibrahimov, who gives him a little shove. Kipkovic in 4th place, 300 metres to run. Let's see the form of Abdelati Iguida. Has he got the form today? They've had so many great champions over the years, over the decades here from Morocco. They love their middle distance running. They know it well. They really appreciate this in a sort of Zurich crowd style. Still only a metre though between Iguida and Ibrahimov. He hasn't been able to shake off the little man in second place just yet. The Azerbaijani dogging every stride. And as they come into the straight now, Ibrahimov tries to raise his game, but almost imperceptibly, Iguida there just stretches his stride, eases away. The gap is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 metres at the line. 7:37 there or thereabouts for Iguida. So much hard running coming in those last couple of laps, and it looks, I have to say, relatively easy for the Moroccan 29-year-old. Well, it's easy to forget he's got great strength too, Egidio. He's an Olympic medalist at 1500 from London, but he's a 12:59 5,000-metre runner as well, and he did that right at the end of last summer in Brussels when he finished in 3rd place, and that's a very, very powerful combination of speed and strength. And they got what they wanted, a home win at last. There's big crowd here.
This was a terrific run-in from 200 metres to go, and you thought, well, has Egidio got the strength to fulfill this? The world indoor champion in 2012 has been around a while, Olympic Games bronze medalist, 1500, little look over his shoulder. He's beaten Ibramov from Azerbaijan and of course Adil Michal of Spain in 3rd place. But it was so good to see. It was a real present, a real gift for the home crowd here in this stadium, and you don't get much noisier than this.
Well, confirmation of that world-leading time for the win. Abdelati Egidio, 7:36.85. Those pictures behind that captain live. The crowd still going berserk here. Ibrahimov, 7:34 in second. Michal, 7:52. And 10th place there. Emmanuel Kipsang, 7:49. The time's pretty solid going down the result card. Well, this is the final attempt in the women's pole vault for Buchla. She too has failed 3 times, or twice I should say. Of course it was Stefanidi who cleared 4:75, had 3 failures at this height. There's Buchla's 3rd and final attempt. That was for the victory. Could she snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? No, she couldn't. Well, confirmation of that win for the Greek Katerina Stefanidi. 4:75, very good in these gusting conditions which trouble the high jumpers as well. Nicole Buchla, 4:70, silver, the world champion, 4:50. Well, we'll go back to this men's high jump now. Eric Kennard in real trouble, 2:31, second or 3rd and final attempt from him. He's had 2 failures. He saw Bondarenko go clear at the 2nd time of asking. He could have taken this attempt at the next height, but no, not to be for Kennard. Everything was going so sweetly, up to and including 2:28. Then he's hit the block, so to speak, at 2:31. Confirmation of that win then for Bohdan Bondarenko, 2:31 to Kennard's 2:28. Those fabulous performances up in the 2:40s of a couple of years back, well beyond Barshim and Bondarenko at the moment, and the rest of them.
Golvago in the discus then. This competition promising to be a good one in the end. Urbanek still leading. So Golvago, he's an Olympic Games silver medalist back in 2004. Look at that lovely transfer, that beautiful transfer, great control, and he liked that one. He liked that one. And that looks to me to be around about the 64-metre mark. He's got 64.83 to beat, which is the throw by Robert Urbanek. But that was a lovely flowing movement. He had total control of that. Worked against his left side, his reverse was good. He had good use of that torque. He wound himself up and then moved the feet fast, left the rest behind, and then just unleashed it all. 64.42, just short of the lead, 2nd place. Well, we can catch up with Dan Bramble again now. He's in 3rd place with 7.90. It would be nice if he could really build on this, and it would give him such confidence if he could do it. Really attacks the board. Lovely simple. Now that's another one. Now that looks once again around the 8-metre mark. Doesn't look terribly happy. He got slightly better on the board that time. He's made his adjustments quite clearly. Lovely simple hang technique. It's absolutely lovely to watch. It's lovely arch in the middle, no rotations. Doesn't quite get the leg shoot he wants at the end of that. Now let's see if he's got any better. So 7.90. Oh, it's 8 metres. That's a season's best for him outdoors. Men's 200 metres, Mohammed of Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Griffiths Bahamas, Hortelano Roig of Spain, Coffey of the Ivory Coast, Herrera Mexico, Edward Panama, Smelly of Canada, and Ouadi of Morocco in lane 8. So Mohammed, Griffiths, Hortelano Roig, Coffey, Herrera, Edward, Smelly and Ouadi. The men's 200 metres. I would expect Edward to go off pretty quickly. Smelly of Canada's gone off pretty quickly, and Edward's got a lot of work to do, but he's coming off the bend beautifully now. Alonso Edwards is leading into the straight and under pressure from Kofi, but Edwards coming away with this, and right on the inside that looks like Hortelano of Spain. But look at this, Edwards got this one tied up. Wonderful run indeed, and 20.08, a new meeting record. And really, when you look at the way in which Alonso Edward lined up, he had a perfect lane in the 6th lane. He had a good bend. He didn't actually challenge until he came off the bend. His transition was very, very good. I'll have another look at this in a moment. And Kofi came through very strongly into 2nd place. There he is. And let's just look at this from the start. I just want to look through this. Edward didn't get away, he went away quite. Kofi, in fact, is the man who went very, very strongly up on Herrera of Mexico. But Edward coming off the bend, and Roig of Spain was going well, wasn't he, on the inside? And he, in fact, did get 3rd place. But Alonso Edward is so tough, so strong. Kofi comes through just in the final stages to take the 2nd place on the line there by the dip. That was a very, very competitive race from Kofi.
Yeah, really good run by Hortelano Roig in lane 3. I thought he ran a superb bend and certainly had those outside him under pressure. Lovely and smooth there too to ride a picture, but Alonso Edward, well, he is the more experienced of them. He is a 19.8 man. It's easy to forget that, and that strength showing over the last 30 or 40. But a brilliant dip there too from Wilfred Kofi from the Ivory Coast to take 2nd place.
The 200-meter men result: Alonso Edward 20.07, Wilfred Kofi 20.05, Bruno Hortelano Roig 20.36 in 3rd place.
Commonwealth and European silver medalist Lindsay Sharp goes next in the women's 800 metres. After disappointingly missing out on the final at the World Championships last summer, she said she hoped to use the experience as a lesson for the future. Can she hit top form on the track here in Rabat?
The women's 800 metres then, and what a packed field this is. It's more like a World Championship final. I tell you, there are 13 starters, including 4 world champions. 10 women in this field have broken 2 minutes. Azamosova of Belarus is the European and world champion. Lindsay Sharp, of course, the European champion for 2012. But Caster Semenya, well, frankly, she toyed with the field in Doha 16 days ago. Controversial character in the sport. She's come back from what was a stepping away from the sport of athletics for a couple of years while there were all sorts of legal discussions about hormone levels. But she is back. She's just sticking to the rules. She can do no more. It's not her fault. Now, looking here for 57.5 at 400 from Kachuk of Ukraine. She hits the front at 200 metres. Eunice Soum in 2nd place. Neon Saba Idusu moves into 2nd. There is Semenya. Powerful figure, really strong and solidly built. Makes Lindsay Sharp look quite frail.
Yeah, that last 200 metres, the last time out for Semenya was, well, it was impressive to say the least. That was in Doha, 1:58.26, but a very quick last 200 metres or so. And it'd be interesting to see how Eunice Soum handles this. You know, she's got the experience now of running against Semenya, but Semenya has got so much left in the tank. There's no question about that. Her racing season thus far has proved it. Her times have proved it, and the speed at which she recovers from one race to the next has been quite incredible.
300 metres to run. Chokut, the pacemaker, has done her job. Neon Saba, who front ran to that marvellous win in Portland at the World Indoors, taking it on here in front of this field. But look at Semenya loping along, barrel-chested, so comfortable in 2nd place. Moving up as well in 3rd place, I think, is Oscar Clark. But Neon Saba it is, with Semenya on the crown of the bend, cutting loose, beginning to move away and looking so comfortable. The rest of them floundering. Sharp moving wide to attack and try and get 3rd spot, but these two are way ahead now. Neon Saba giving everything she can back to Semenya. A little glance over the shoulder there from the South African. The world #1 wins here very comfortably indeed. 1:56.65. of 59.9 at second lap after the opener, where the pacemaker went through in 56.7. And that, so impressive, I'm afraid will just stoke the fires of controversy yet further. She's run the fastest time in the world this year by a couple of seconds, very nearly a couple of seconds. She has thrashed a fabulous field that, frankly, with Azamasova, the world champion from Belarus outdoors, Niyonsaba, who battled all the way down the home straight, the world indoor champion in there as well, Eunice Sum, who we never really saw on the second lap. They were all beaten by many meters by Caster Semenya, and the Olympic silver medalist may well go one place better come Rio.
Niyonsaba 157.74, which is, and Lamotte 158.84, and Eunice Sum 159.32. Lindsay Sharp went under 2 minutes, 159.51. And you see on the left of your shot there, but look at the ease. I have a feeling that the gold medal is already won in those Olympic Games in Rio, unless injury takes its toll upon this Caster Semenya of South Africa.
Semenya winning then, 156.64. Niyonsaba second, Lamotte third, and Azamasova, the world champion, down in 8th.
Well, discus and Malachowski into the circle. Now then, 65.91, leading at the moment. And that was his third round throw. This is his fourth. Because only, just a reminder of the rule, out of the 8, only the top 4 go through for 3 further throws. There's an awful lot of opposition to that from the athletes themselves, but that's what the rule is. And you've got to play by the rule, and that looks to me to be around about 66 or more. He really is a very consistent thrower at best. Not so on the last competition, but when it matters, he can provide the throw that is necessary to take the lead. He's dangerous right the way to the bitter end. Now, what's he got? Oh, that's good. Meeting record, 66.88. The long jump now, Samai in second place behind Lapierre. Oh, that's a good jump, and that well could have taken the lead. That's very close to Lapierre's jump. Look at that. Absolutely superb on the runway. Now, let's have a look. What's he got? 8.38 equals the meeting record. He's gone into the lead. Well, good win now. Third place, fourth round. A little bit of backward rotation on that, but a third place for him. And that he's right on the board, spot on that. And that's 8 meters and 11. So third place for Marquise Goodman, Goodwin rather, of the United States.
'13 world champion LaShawn Merritt is next up in the men's 400 metres. He set a personal best of 43.65 in winning the silver medal at last year's World Championships, and is already off to a good start this season, having won at the opening Diamond League meeting in Doha.
Well, there's the lineup for the men's 400 metres. Youssef of Great Britain, Borlée Belgium, Brown Bahamas, Merritt USA, Makwala Botswana, Borlée Belgium, McDonald Jamaica, and Bren of Costa Rica on the outside. Well, Rabat Youssef of Great Britain, World Championship bronze medalist in the relay. That'll give him some confidence. 46.14 in Des Moines in the States this year in April. Well, LaShawn Merritt, of course, with that sub-20 200 metres, not going off as quickly as Makwala of Botswana, who's absolutely flying around that back straight. And LaShawn Merritt taking it very much easier indeed. Brown going quite well of the Bahamas, but LaShawn Merritt now taking closer order on Makwala. McQuarrie has really gone for this one. It's the fastest 300 metres, and certainly Sean Merritt has got to tackle him here. And Merritt's usually got the strength, and I just wonder whether McQuarrie can hang on. I don't think he can. Here comes the Sean Merritt as McQuarrie ties up after that fast first 200 metres. Sean Merritt wins it. Borlée in second, McQuarrie in third, and that was Kevin Borlée right on the outside. And the time, well, it's 44.68. And you have to say that Isaac McQuarrie of Botswana went for it. He had to be, well, too fast over the first 200 metres. He was well up there at 300 metres and really fell apart over the last 50 metres, which wasn't surprising. Far too fast over the first two, but you've got to admire his determination. He went for it and didn't quite get it, but at least he got... and Rabat Youssef was down the field. We'll bring him up to date with that in a moment for British viewers. Sean Merritt and Kevin Borlée, 44.66, 45.26.
Stuart McQuarrie, I don't know why he did that. He was sixth in Doha in 45.7. There was no way he was going to maintain that tempo and come home in around 44 flat. Merritt there looked lovely and controlled, beautifully measured run from him. He wasn't upset or intimidated by McQuarrie's first 300. McQuarrie there treading water dreadfully. This is an unforgiving event over the last 50. If you get it wrong, then those legs feel like they weigh 100 tons over the last 50. And a good run there, well-judged effort from Kevin Borlée, as you said. Quite rightly, he's come through for third place, for second place, snatching it from McQuarrie.
Merritt 44.66, meeting record. Borlée 45.26, McQuarrie 45.38. There you are. And Brown even got a season's best in fourth place. Well, Robert Urbanek in second place at the moment behind Piotr Malachowski. 64.74, his best throw. That was in the third round. This fifth round throw, and that's a good throw. That's a good throw. That looks to be on the 65-metre line or thereabouts. He's having a very good series. 64.74 in the third round, 64.65 in the fourth. Now, what's he got here? Wait, a lovely, lovely rotation in that circle. Good lift of the discus, and he's looking for, we're just waiting for the computer to show us what he's got. And we've got it now. It's 65 metres and 4 centimetres. Still in second place, but that improves his throw. Fabrice Lapierre. I said he got close to the great man. He did, and the great man on this day was Samai of South Africa. That was terrific jumping, and he was only just short at 8 metres and 36 centimetres. Spot on the board. You don't get any better than that. And have a look at this. He was quick on the runway at an 8.31 and an 8.36. And if he'd have got that 8.38 and equaled Samai's jump, he would have actually won, because he got a second best jump of 8.31, so he lost it by 2 centimetres every way you like to look at it. 8.36, season's best for this Australian, in very good form. Well, Samai then 8.38 equals the meeting record. Lapierre 8.36, season's best. Good win. And Bramble with 8, the season's best for the Briton. So, Mr. Malachowski, you've got the discus stitched up here. And now then, what are you going to do here? He leads this event quite comfortably, and has done so right early on in the event. And that really was good control. Didn't fall out that time. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better. That's 67 territory. That's better than 66.88. That looks to be, there's a smug smile on his face as he walks out of the circle. And he's done it again. His season's best is 68.03, and I tell you what, that's not far behind that. And he's going to take it from Urbanek and Cavago. Let's have a look. He's happy. 67.45, meeting record, and yet another top of the podium performance by Piotr Malachowski of Poland. But there's the result of the discus. Piotr Malachowski, 67.45, meeting record from Robert Urbanek of Poland and Zoltan Cavago of Hungary.
Our last race on the track is the women's 5,000 metres, featuring Almaz Ayana. The Ethiopian is the reigning world champion in this event and got her season off to a strong start with victory in the 3,000 metres in Doha. So can she add a second Diamond League win of the season today?
Well, we can go back to the track now for the final event of the programme, the women's 5,000 metres, and they have perhaps saved the best till last because the pace that's been requested is world record tempo. It's a small field but a very good quality one, just 11 starters and 2 of those are pacemakers. They've asked for 2:50 per kilometre, we understand. That would bring them home in 14 minutes 10, and the world record, I can tell you, by Tirunesh Dibaba back in 2008, 14:11.15. 6 in the field have broken 15 minutes, but Almaz Ayana, one of the very few who in the history have gone under 14:20. Only 4 women have that achievement to their name. Will the wind put paid to it though? I'm just looking over at the second bend to our left, where the water jump is, and the women are running past now. But high up on the rim of the stadium there are flags. Flagpoles with the flags blowing very, very stiffly indeed. If you're up 50 or 60 feet up at the top of the stands, there's a real, not a gale, but incredibly strong winds blowing in off the Atlantic just a couple of miles away. So Wafula hits the front ahead of Bliss then. They need to be running 68 seconds per lap. Well, 14:46 from Teferi, her lifetime best. Is 14:36. That's a gulf behind anything around 14:10, 14:15, and that gap is beginning to show now. It's over the last 200 metres. So Ayana has cut loose and has eased away and goes through in front of us with 200 metres yet to the 2 kilometre point. So the gap has suddenly opened up very quickly indeed, and Bata caught at the back of the field there, nearest to camera as you see that shot. Sort of, I think, taken a bit by surprise. She's the sort of athlete, she's got the calibre, with 4:01 1500 speed and under 31.5 10 kilometre strength, and as a European 5,000 metre champion, I think she's got the ability to run quicker than this as Bata, but she's never done it before. And of course 5,000, a very tough event to come to terms with. If your personal best is 14:59, then anything around 14:40 14:45 tonight would be a big improvement for Bata. But Ayana left a picture, striding away, streaking away with every stride, and she's gone through 2 kilometres, just waiting for that split to become apparent. Teferi isolated. It's going to be tough for her now. It really is, because 2 kilometres reached in 5:40.53 by Ayana. Just about spot on. She wanted 5:40. She was half a second out of it. Metronomic running from the little Ethiopian, who leads now by 25 metres from Teferi, who in turn there is 20 metres ahead of this pack of 5. The world record beckons for this little Ethiopian. Relatively unheard of before Shanghai last year when she exploded onto the world distance running scene. She's still only 24 years old. She's run superbly so far. She goes through in just outside 12 minutes, probably 12:01 there. It may be beyond her, a 2:11 last 800 metres. But it's been a mighty powerful effort from her. It will be one of the quickest times in history. Her own personal best, 14:14.32. The meeting record is 14:45. I don't think that's got too long to go. That was by Marianne Salsuli back in 2012. And Ayana now down the back straight. The whole shoulders perhaps just a little bit more arched. Those arms just swinging a little bit more freely and violently almost, as she goes through with 600 metres to run. Jos Herman's over there with 600 metres to run, urging her on, yelling her on from the infield. Her agent, man who has done so much to push back the barriers of distance running on the world scene over the last 20 years and more, and that's after his own career as a world record breaker. Almaz Ayana then, in the zone, looks up for virtually the first time that I've seen as she comes towards the bell. 13:07. 8, 9, 10. Well, a 61-second lap surely is beyond even her. I fear that despite this brilliant effort, Tirunesh Dibaba's world record of 14:11.15, set just under 8 years ago, is safe for a while longer. But on a better evening, without this wind, Stuart, with pacemaking further into the race, I think it's there for the taking.
Yeah, there are very few that can give her the pace that she wants, though. As even over 3,000 metres it was found wanting, but at 5,000 it's been a lone race against the clock for her. She's still holding her form pretty well with just 200 metres to go, and it's been a fantastic demonstration of distance running over 5,000. She is the world champion, and she's got the Olympic year to come, and my goodness me, who can beat her? Well, we'll see if anybody can.
It's going to be mighty close, but I'm sure it'll be outside the world record here. This effort from Almaz Ayana. They raise to their feet here in the home straight, roaring her on. 30 metres to go. The world record has gone, but watch the clock. Nonetheless, it's been an astonishing effort from Ayana. 14:16.34. She was right on the case there to get it right for over 2/3 distance, probably for something like 3/4 distance. Second place there, coming home, a distant second place is Tamberi, I think. But, or Kibiwat, in fact, in second place, excuse me. I paid her so little attention in the last couple of laps with that world record threatened. Personal best from her, 14:29. Teferi in third place. Personal best for her, 14:35. Each of those first three, Ayana included, of course, letting a pretty lonely journey unfold over the last few laps, certainly over the second half of the race. So well done to them for such fabulous racing, such fabulous running against the clock, I should say, rather than racing, because most of them in isolation. It's been a real feast of brilliant running against the clock, and for many, many minutes that world record was under threat. But Almaz Ayana, a world lead and meeting record, wins the 5,000 in 14:16.31. Well, confirmation of the win for Ayana, 14:16.31, finishing some 5 seconds or so outside Tirnesh Baba's world record. It was a fabulous display of front running, though, winning very comfortably indeed. A national record for Bata in 7th place, 14:49, an improvement by some 10 seconds, so she does indeed broach new ground. And that, for me, perhaps the performance of the night, along with the women's 800 metres. A win by Semenya in 1:56.64. Ayana on 20 points after a 3,000 win, of course, in Doha, and comfortably out in front.
Our next Diamond League action is from Eugene in the USA on Sunday at 2:30 on BBC Two. In other sporting action, there's coverage of the Men's European Gymnastics Championships starting on Saturday at 1:30 on BBC One. And you can catch the Rowing World Cup from Lucerne on Sunday on BBC Two at 12:30. Well, that's it for our highlights of the Rabat Diamond League, but we've got plenty more athletics for you to enjoy this summer.
That's what it means to him.
Oh, it's going to be close, isn't it?
I've got to tell you, that's good.
He's just done what he does best.
What does it have in store for us this year?